This is actually just, you don't need to sort of make out that I'm drunk. That's why I'm saying this. I'm saying that because it's the truth as I see it. And I'm not frightened because I don't have anyone to please. I don't have anyone who pays me. I don't have an employer. I don't have a boss. I don't have a sponsor. I'm not trying to sell anything. That's why I'm able to tell you my truth. The truth, actually. You see them all show up. Miley in class, dressed like she was going down some sort of funeral catwalk. She had a full-on DJ on. Who else was there? Can she see the comments? I can see it. What do you want to say? Fuck the papers, exactly. Holly and Phil, were they not there? Yes, I can see the comments, so do feel free to write what you want. But if you do write, this is a load of old shite, do remember that my response to you is going to be, well, fuck off then. Because we're here, because none of us mind what anyone thinks. And it doesn't mean you can't, doesn't mean you have to agree with me. It just means if you don't want to be here, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, finally caught you alive. Hooray for you. It's been quite alive. We've quite gone off on one. When I say we, me. Smashing it, thank you. What's my biggest beef with Piers? Oh, do you know my biggest beef? So I try not to have beef with anyone really, because there's so much that goes on with the boys, with them being the cowardice or the competitiveness or the, I'm excluded. I'm not having, you asked and so I'm answering, I'm not moaning. I'm excluded from so many things because there is this fear of me monopolising shit, which I totally do, I know. But my biggest beef with Piers is, so I am very clear about what I believe in and what I'm here for. And I always have been. I take back nothing I've ever said. I mean everything I've ever said. Every word I've ever written, I stand by. Everything I've ever said about people coming into our country or certain religions, I stand by. I'm not apologising for any of it. I don't retract any of it. All those things, people's view of me might have changed, but my views haven't changed. And I'm not portrayed through the lens of the dickhead papers anymore. That's kind of the change. And I grew longer hair. Piers will change opinion for whatever is best for Piers. And that's my big beef with him. My big beef with Piers is he doesn't have any beliefs. He just has a remarkable ability to generate clicks and views by changing his views in order to generate those clicks. And I can't bear it because I mean what I say. I'm prepared to defend and go to prison for what I believe. And I will, I'm sure. And that's what really annoys me. Okay, that's truth. Well, thank you. Piers moved goalposts according to his own ego. Well, precisely. And I don't. I'm prepared to make a stand and die on my stand, die on my hill for what I believe. And as it turns out, those things I was saying that got me arrested 10, 20 years ago, stop the boat, are the things that people are still saying now. And the lie now is people performing the pantomime of trying to resolve issues that they have no intention of resolving, because if they did, they would have been resolved 20 years ago when I started screaming about it. It's a pantomime. People are wanted here. Illegals are supposed to be here. People take huge sums of money because they're here. The only pantomime is pretending that anybody wants to remove any of them because they don't. Let's not go down that route. Could you live in the Big Brother house with Perez again? Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. He's a very small boy. He was very, very isolated. And he's obviously got a really, Perez Hilton obviously has, you know how you just know, a really, really, really small penis. You just know. You just know. And it doesn't matter. Oh no. Do you know who that was ringing me? I feel badly. That was Alex Belfield. That's the prison. So that's Alex Belfield calling me from the prison. I did want to say something about prison as well. Am I still buddies with Michelle Visage? We don't speak anymore. I would still really like, in my heart, I'm still best friends with Michelle Visage. But because of her needing to have jobs with the BBC, you can't be near me. So so I'm still best friends in my heart with Michelle Visage, in that I wish her every good thing, and I know she's brilliant and she's so hardworking, but you can't have BBC contracts and be seen or be friends with me. That's not a thing. You just have to cut me off. And I kind of just accept that because she has got BBC work now, like her radio contract. Let's part that. So that was Alex Belfield in prison. I wanted to say something just briefly about, oh God, the asylum seeker that threw the alkaline. I mean, for fuck's sake. Let me just say something briefly. So Greta Thunberg refused to disperse from a protest over oil or whatever, right? So the courts where they've just been, a Section 14 dispersal notice, it's just been thrown out because it wasn't explained clearly to Greta Thunberg and the Just Stop Oil freaks, and so they've been let off. So another ability for Greta and the net zero mafia to have a moment of attention and newsworthiness, because the courts say they weren't given enough notice about their Section 14 notice, which is essentially a dispersal notice to remove themselves to another area, and so their case has been thrown out. I really just want to make this one point, if I may, which is that Tommy Robinson, you may not like him, you may not care about him, you may think he's an asshole, you may love him. Doesn't matter to me what you think in that regard. You can think all those things. His court cases, and it is about a Section 35, which is another kind of dispersal order, right? Because he went to the protest against anti-Semitism, he was having his breakfast, he was arrested, he was given a Section 35, or he was called on his Section 35, which said he couldn't be there. He could very well end up in prison for that. And all I want to say, briefly, I know we're running out of time, is do you see how the law is not the law? How if you're Greta Thunberg and you're being paid to push net zero, you are let off because the courts will say, oh, well, it wasn't Greta's fault. It wasn't explained clearly. Poor Greta. And the net zero mafia get another opportunity to have the headlines saying, we've got to save the planet. Polar bears, penguins, blah, blah, blah. But if you're Tommy Robinson and you're given a Section 35, which is similar to a Section 14, and you're having breakfast quietly and you're arrested, you're going to end up in prison. And I just say that I mean, it's kind of a big point to throw in at the end of a Katie's Arms. But do you see, I know you know, but this is the world we live in now. The law is just, if you're on the right side, according to those who seek to, do away with us ultimately, or the wrong side, that's going to decide what happens to you. And if you think just by hating Tommy Robinson, that will save you for another day, it won't. Same with Michelle Visage. I mean, sure, you can keep your BBC contracts by pretending you don't know me, but that won't save you when it comes to it. And that's all okay. All of that is okay. But it's just important that we know it, or at least I know it. I'm very clear. Good. Do an hour. I can't. So that went a bit serious there at the end, given that we started off in full rant mode. The revolution is coming. It is. And I hope to find myself somewhere in the middle of the pack cheering it on, or at the front of the thing, or taking, if there's a fucking great spear, I'm volunteering to take that. If there's someone that needs to go out and face down the initial the initial semi-automatic weapons, I'm up for that. Revolution with wine. Exactly. I think also because I'm on kind of, I'm on extra time already in my life. I'm so I'm so ready for it. Like, it's not like I want the end to come, but when it does, I honestly feel like I can go down laughing. Like, we really went for it. In however many years I'm going to have, what am I now, 49 or 48, I will lie down happy